back, Saturday Morning Live. Now, a Christian street preacher arrested in Rotherham town centre after asking a Muslim woman about the Quran's teaching on domestic violence has said that he feels vindicated after charges against him were dropped.
Yes, former miner John Steele was arrested and told he faced a non-crime hate incident on his record after a discussion with a Muslim woman in the South Yorkshire town. Charlie, you've been following this. What's going on here? Well, this is remarkable stuff. We've got some footage we can show you in a moment of when John was arrested. He's been preaching in Rotherham for 25 years and in South Yorkshire. He saw this stall about domestic violence and approached them to ask them about Islamic teachings on how men should treat their wives, very soon after swarmed by police officers. Let's have a watch.
The world's gone mad.
This is the world we live in, and she's felt uncomfortable enough to come and tell a police officer, so I think it was your delivery.
I asked a simple question.
We are recording an incident, a hate incident.
In order to record,
I am not. For your understanding,
I am not admitting
to listen
to something.
so as we can explain what's happening.
We're not asking you to admit.
We're not asking you to admit it.
Oh,
We're
no,
stating
just give me
there's an
details.
allegation. You don't have to admit anything, but there's been an allegation of an incident that's happened. That incident is a hate incident. We require details to report that, and therefore, if you don't provide your details under the section
50 of Police Reform Act,
under the ASB Act, you are required to give the details, and we have a power of arrest to obtain those details, which we don't want to go down. It's not necessary. Yeah, she's hoping that common sense might prevail eventually when we do lock him up, because we're going to present him for not to obtain his details.
Yeah.
And if he fails to provide, at some point along that journey, he'd like to think the light might shine.
Right, okay, John, as you're known as, 1347, you're under arrest. Okay. You're not providing your details under Section 50 of Police Reform Act. All right,
So we're going to ascertain who you are.
The arrest is necessary to ascertain your details. All right, you don't have to say anything with my own defence. You do not mention my questions published later on in court. Anything you do, so maybe giving evidence.
Extraordinary footage there, Miriam, of John Steele being told it was a hate incident, and one police officer saying that she hoped common sense would prevail once he was arrested. Well, let's speak to John now, the Christian street preacher at the heart of this story, who joins us live. John, thank you and good morning to you. Tell me,
Good morning.
What was your reaction when those police officers first approached you?
Well, I wonder what they wanted, really. I mean, because incident were about an hour before, so when she said it, I was shocked. You know, that's all I can say, really. I was a bit flabbergasted.
Now, John, the police officer said it was a hate incident. Talk to us about the interaction you had with the Muslim woman behind that stall.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a short encounter. I mean, as a preacher, you're trying to engage with people. You're trying to look at things to hook into, and obviously this was a stall about domestic abuse for ethnic minorities. I mean, domestic abuse is a terrible thing, but obviously, as a Christian, I know the teachings of some of the teachings of the Quran, and I know that in Surah 434 it talks about a Muslim being able to strike his wife if she's not towing the line. And so I just asked how she reconciled what she was doing with her belief in Islamic belief.
If you're a US resident, let's face it, things feel uncertain right now. America's national debt, over $36 trillion and climbing. Inflation, still eating away at your savings. And the dollar, down nearly 8% this year, with more countries walking away from it. Meanwhile, the markets, one day they're up, the next day, trillions gone in a blink. So it's no surprise people are asking, where can I actually put my money and sleep at night? That's why more investors are turning to gold and silver. Gold's up over 24% this year, smashing records and soaring past $3,300 an ounce. And some analysts say we could see $6,000 gold before the end of Trump's term. And silver, it's heating up fast, driven by demand in tech, solar and defence. Some analysts say it could double in value this year. If you've been thinking about moving part of your IRA or 401k into gold or silver, tax and penalty free, our friends at Priority Gold make it simple. They're endorsed by Rich Dad's Robert Kiyosaki, ranked #1 by Forbes and Financial Services Review, and trusted by thousands of everyday Americans. Right now, GB News viewers can get a free wealth preservation guide from Priority Gold. It shows you exactly how to add real gold and silver to your IRA or 401k tax and penalty free. Step-by-step plain English, no pressure, just smart information you can act on. Just scan the QR code, click the link in the description below, or if you're a US resident, text WEALTH to 24999. That's WEALTH to 24999 and claim your free guide today. The price of gold can go down as well as up. Past performance does not indicate future performance. Only invest what you can afford.
John, did this lady give you any indication that she wanted to end the conversation before she did call the police? I mean, if she didn't want to talk, that's her legitimate right. She could have just asked you to go away.
Yeah, when I asked her I asked her if she were a Muslim, and she smiled and nodded, and then I asked the question. She stood up, showing me a leaflet. Then I just asked her, again how she would reconcile the teachings of the Quran with what she was doing. But simply asked her to consider that Jesus taught a man to love his wife and to lay down his life for her, the exact opposite of what Muhammad taught, and that I hope she'd look to Christ and his forgiveness. And then I walked away. It was very brief, about 30 seconds.
Right, but John, the police seem to believe that this was an antisocial act, and so they asked for your details for a non-crime hate incident, which doesn't require any evidence, just an allegation. And when you didn't give that, you were arrested. What happened after you were arrested when that footage ends?
Well, they put me in the car, and as they were driving, they kept telling me that if I gave my details, it could all end. They'd let me go. And that they asked that, 3 or 4 times on the way to the police station. But for me to give my details is admitting that I'm guilty of something that I'm not. I'm not hating anybody. Neither would I encourage anybody to hate anybody. As a Christian, I love Muslims, and my desire is for their good, not for their ill. Just to say that asking somebody a question is hateful, is frightening, really. It's scary.
John, are you concerned about the legislation being looked at in Parliament at the moment to criminalise Islamophobia, something that's very, very difficult to define? Do you fear that potential legislation could actually make a situation like this even worse?
Well, absolutely. What about workplace? Where does it, what's it going to affect? Conversation is going to be shut down, and that's, and it shouldn't be. A healthy society should be able to question, ask, investigate. That's what it's about. As a Christian, I go on streets and I'm open to be questioned. I'm open to be challenged. And I believe if you're secure in what you believe, that should pose no threat.
John, there is a horrible irony.
If you're not, then you're going to put up the barriers, and that's what they seem to be doing.
Sorry for interrupting you there, John, but there seems to be a really horrible irony at the heart of this issue, in that you were preaching in Rotherham, a town where the police totally failed to prosecute child abusers for many decades, in particular those from the Pakistani Muslim community in that town and around South Yorkshire. There are many critics still who say they haven't done enough to deal with the grooming gangs issue in the town. Is it your view that they were showing that level of protection for this Muslim woman that reflects that they still are affected by that mentality of protection for that community?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about it. People feel it. People know it in the town, it's a dark cloud hanging over, and people still don't believe that it's really been dealt with. So, people want justice.
John, just very briefly, there was some polling yesterday that revealed around half the British public don't think that Islam is actually compatible with Western society, with British society. Would you agree with that? We're talking about Islam, obviously, not Muslims themselves.
Well, I believe what the Bible says. Jesus said, no kingdom divided against itself can stand. Every household divided will fall. So you've got to have something that knits society together, you know, a common belief, a common, you know, ideas. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, people shouldn't come in, but when you've got two cultures clashing like this, it's scary. It really is. And, you know, and one trying to dominate the other, that's how it appears, by, you know, silencing, browbeating. And so, no, I don't think Islam is compatible.
Okay.
Absolutely.
John, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. Ex-miner, bus driver, street preacher, and I have to say, Miriam, I don't think particularly intimidating either.
Absolutely.
Well, now a spokesman from South Yorkshire Police said that the footage of the incident has been reviewed by its professional standards department. It's been determined that a proportionate response was delivered by its officers. They had not received a complaint in relation to this incident, and they are going to reflect and consider any potential learning.